If you're building Zimone on budget, these are 10 cards you want to cut, and these are 10 cards you want to add.
And if you got money to spend, here's 10 more cards you're going to want to cut, and 10 more cards you're going to want to add. Don't watch the video, just click the Moxfield in our description. You can spend all your time reading that, hang out and find out why.
Like it before you go, I guess. But let's get into it. Zimone Mystery Unraveler.
It's about time they printed a Simic commander that was good.
Oh, man, this card is insane.
I am manifesting Dread right now, facing Zimone decks in the near future.
We're going to see a lot of her, huh?
Yeah.
First up, we're going to cut Biomass Mutation. This card just annoyed me when I saw it in the list, simply because we're interested in turning our cards face up. I don't want to make my Big Scary a limited base power and toughness.
Our second card we're cutting is Kefnet the Mindful. It can't attack or block unless you have 7 or more cards in hand. This card's not doing anything half the time.
Our third card we're going to cut is Augur of Autumn. It's just a kind of a clunky, weird card.
Our fourth cut is Cittanul Hierophants. This card makes us mana. We don't care about mana. We're playing landfall, so we're ramping like crazy anyway, and Zimone is just flipping cards over for free. We're not paying for squat.
Our fifth card is a new card from Duskmourn called Giggling Skitterspike. Just not important.
It's a really cool card. It's just not doing anything in this deck.
Is it?
Oh, my Mutate deck is excited about this. Our sixth card to cut is Kian Corrupted Memory. This is an interesting alternate commander, but it's so alternate that it's just not applying to this game plan that we're doing with Zimone.
Just a totally different card.
It's totally different.
Our seventh cut is Rush Me, Eternity's Crafter.
It's a common theme in precons to include cards like this that are generally good. They just don't apply to what we're doing with this specific deck. Our eighth card is Oversimplify. Exiling all creatures can be really good if we're behind, but we're probably going to have the best board in the game at all times. We don't want to be planning to play from behind.
Our ninth card is Greater Tanuki. There are a couple of cards at instant speed where you can get 2 lands instead for the same exact price, and I just don't really see the purpose.
Our final cut is Beanstalk Giant.
For cutting Tanuki at instant speed, putting a land on the battlefield, the sorcery speed even worse.
Now that we got those out of the way, let me tell you what you should be playing instead. First up, Essence Flux. At instant speed, you can flip over any of your face down cards. When they return to the battlefield, they'll be face up.
Our second card to add is Colony Heart Expedition. And when it has 3 quest counters, you don't have to sacrifice it right away. You can wait for an opportunity and just remove them and search for 2 basic lands, put them on the battlefield tapped, immediately manifest Dread Flip.
Brainstorm is going to make sure that we draw useful cards, and the best stuff is coming out of the top of our library for free.
Hauntwood Shrieker. This card is so absolutely insane with the deck. It does Zimone's second ability for just 2 mana. This card's amazing.
Our fifth card is Paranormal Analyst. Instead of putting the card in our graveyard, we can put it into our hand.
2 mana, whenever you play a land, draw a card and put a 2/2 at minimum on the field. It's pretty good. Our sixth card that we're going to add is Slogurk the Overslime. Card is so freaking good at just making sure you constantly have fuel for Manifest Dread.
Lucky number 7 is a card called Become Anonymous. And this reminds me of my old Yu-Gi-Oh days playing magical hats, making sure that no one knows what kind of schemes I'm up to. We're putting 3 cards face down for 4 mana, we're probably dodging a removal spell, and we're enabling all of our face down creature synergy.
Our 8th card is Threats Around Every Corner. You play this with Zimone on the field, you manifest Dread. That means you search for a basic land card, put on the battlefield. You manifest Dread again, which activates Threats Around Every Corner, which means you find another land card, put on the battlefield. Zimone flips one of them.
Wow, it's not even once per turn, is it?
Nope.
This card is a 4 mana plus 4 that's including a free spell. If I'm planning on landfall anyway, I'm putting our 9th card, Kodama of the East Tree, in here. Simic Growth Chamber can go infinite with Kodama because it bounces the land to your hand and then replays it for Kodama's ability. Even if you don't draw that Simic Growth Chamber, Kodama is by itself just crazy value.
And going off Kodama of the East Tree, Rampaging Balos we have at number 10. It's just a good rate, and at a budget, why not throw a fun infinite in there where you just have a board that says, kill me or lose. We are huge advocates of cutting lands from precons, especially a lot of tap lands, so here are the lands you want to remove, and it is our suggestion that you add
Blighted Woodland doesn't come in tapped and can trigger both of Zimone's abilities on the same turn. Demolition Field is some awesome removal in the land slot. Field of Ruin allows you to blow up that nasty guy's cradle and trigger Zimone. Petrified Field is going to let you get any land from your graveyard back to your hand. And then Rivendell can set up some nice scry top decks.
Land destruction is super underrated in EDH.
Yeah, you gotta have some way to take care of a land. Now we're gonna strain a little harder and get 10 more cards out of here so that we can get all the high power, no budget bangers in. First up, Retreat to Coralheim. The Scry 1 and the Tapper Untap just isn't quite doing enough for me.
Our second card we're cutting is Arixmathes Slumbering Isle. If it had landfall, remove a counter, okay, you have my attention, but no.
Yeah. Our third cut is Disorienting Choice, because it gives the choice to your opponents, which I never like doing.
Our fourth cut is Karoo Spell Snatcher. It's just a little too clunky and awkward.
Our fifth cut is Body of Knowledge. There's a cute version of this where I use it as a blocker and then flip it over and someone, unbeknownst to them, helps me draw a bunch of cards, but that's just so Christmas land and it's 5 mana, I'm off it.
Our sixth card is Hydra Omnivore. It has no evasion at all, and overall, I just never want to see this on a flip.
Our seventh cut is Temur War Shaman. This can turn all of our flips into removal, but there's just a lot of situations where I don't want to see this, so I'm getting it out of the deck list.
Our eighth cut is a new card, unfortunately, Shriekwood Devourer. It's just so cute, and I think it misses.
We're not paying mana for these spells anyway, so untapping all my land just isn't as valuable to me as it would be in another deck. Azurius Predation is one of the better board wipes in green and blue, but at 8 mana, I can't play this for free with Zimone, so I'm just not that interested in this spell.
We're going to be manifesting Dread a lot, and this card is really only valuable in our hand. Our 10th and final cut is just a terrible card. Scab Ruinator just does not do enough for this game plan. It's not a card you want to see. It's just, it makes you sad when you see it.
So, now that we've cleared 10 more cards out of the kiddie pool, we're hopping in the deep end with some higher power, no budget picks. First up, Burgeoning. Zimone gets the most value out of her ability by triggering twice per turn so that we're flipping cards over for free. And this is going to make sure we're doing it on everyone's turn.
And our second card is a favorite of ours when you're working off the top of your deck. Scroll Rack at 2 mana is so freaking efficient. If you have a big creature in your hand, you're like, wow, I wish this was Manifest Dreaded. Well, here's your wish.
Our fourth pick to add is Sylvan Library. This card is a powerful draw engine in most decks, but we don't even need to actually draw them. We're just putting the right cards on top and making sure we're manifesting and flipping them over.
If you're seeing cards that you know are not good Manifest Dread, pay the 4 life, take it in your hand, start rolling the dice on top of your deck. Worldly Tutor is so good in this deck. At instant speed, for 1 mana, just selectively pick which creature you want to Manifest Dread. It's pretty good.
Nim Deathmantle is a 2 mana card that's going to make everyone think twice about attacking you. Any of your blockers could come right back to the battlefield, flipped over, fully powered for just 4 mana. I'm super excited to say our 6th card is a new Duskmourn card, Abhorrent Oculus. On every one of my opponent's turns, I'm manifesting Dread. I'm getting crazy value off this guy.
Our 7th high-powered card to add is one of my favorites in just kind of any blue deck, to be honest. It's Thassa, Deep Dwelling. Beginning your end step, exile up to 1 target creature you control, then return the card to the battlefield. AKA, the manifested card you have is now flipped over.
The 8th card we want to play is Guardian Project. Face-down cards don't have a name, so every single card that's manifesting Dread and coming in is drawing us a card.
Our 9th card is a very simple Crucible of Worlds, and we'll be fetching and getting rid of so many cards from our graveyard that this card just gains so much value over time.
And last but not least, since we heard you like playing lands from your graveyard, it's Ancient Green Warden. Her ability is so nice, we'll do it twice and double down on all of our triggered abilities from landfall. All these cards are insane. I mean, you'd be crazy not to just already have done this and
like and subscribe.
Stop watching the video.